Hello and welcome to Crossfire. For over 50 years since India's independence, education has been an industry that has been sort of centered around the government. What that means is that the state is seen as responsible to educating its citizens. However, in the past decade or so, there's been a surge in the number of private players that are now entering the Indian education sector. And today on the show, that's what we're discussing. Should there be a limit on the amount of private players in the Indian education industry or not? And what are the benefits and negatives of having so many players all of a sudden? To join me in this discussion, I'm joined by Nikhil to my left, who believes that there are drawbacks of having large number of private players, and Chavi to my right, who believes otherwise. Nikhil, we'll start with you. Why do you believe that we should set a limit?
As you see, there was a recent research by PricewaterhouseCoopers, and it says that there are over 23,000 private colleges in India. And recently we got a report from Ernst & Young and FICCI, which says that over 250 colleges shut down last year, and this number will keep on increasing. So, in a country like India, providing education to each and every individual it's a big operational challenge, but that doesn't mean that we should have n numbers of private institutions.
Okay.
More focus should be given on quality, improving the existing systems. We have a huge number of vacant seats, going every year. So those things should be targeted first, rather than just increasing new private players in this market.
Okay. What do you feel are some of the drawbacks of having too many private players? What are some negatives to that?
So if you talk about too many private players, we take example of tier 2 or tier 3 cities. You see there are like 10, 20, 30 colleges, providing engineering education or medical education or dental education, but then these colleges they don't have their either accreditation or they don't provide a quality education to people, so that even the people who are like students who are living there, they get confused, and it poses a great challenge to their future because there is no job security and other issues. So rather than just providing these people a platform to come up and start up their own education institutes, there should be a systematic approach toward this problem, and
focus on small number of institutes but better quality.
Better quality. They may be having more seats maybe, and try to tap more people into those seats, but not just letting each and every businessman to go and open their own education institute everywhere in India.
So Chavi, what is your response to that?
I would like to counter that point by saying that currently 50% of the Indian population is under the age of 0 to 25 years, which is the target population for Indian education sector. And there is a high potential demand for education, quality education in the country, which the current government spend is unable to meet. Most of the spend that they are making is in the area of maintenance, development, and issuing the grants. But they are not actually doing it for quality education. But private education sector, private players do have the capacity of meeting the needs. They have proven themselves, have been instrumental in accessibility, in enrollment, in the reach. So private education sector, private players should definitely be there in the system, and there should not be the limit. There should not be any limit. The question is wrong. The limit should be on the quality, not the number. The moment you put limit on the quality, the number will automatically be regulated. So that's what I think.
And then who would decide that quality? Would the government sort of?
Sure, yeah, the government should have a regulation, should have a mechanism on deciding the quality of the education. So, like Nikhil is saying that so many colleges are being closed down because of the quality issue. So government should work on the quality. They should have a mechanism wherein they decide that this college should be A grade, B grade, C grade. C grade colleges won't be considered by the government.
Yeah.
The accreditations will be given to A and B colleges only. So the number will be automatically taken care by that.
Yeah, I like that you're focusing on the solution, which is a good thing. What about all those people who say that, when you have a large number of private players, many of them start acting like corporates, and then there's sort of a business to education and they're here to make money. What would be your response to that?
That's right. I don't see any problem in that though.
Okay.
Reason being, if we have huge investments in Indian education sector, then we can also have a great footfall of international students. So it can act as a business for Indian education sector. It can bring in revenues for Indian territory. So I don't see any problem. I see a problem with the quality. If we are providing good quality and we are mushrooming with quality, then it's not a problem. We are getting in revenue.
Okay. Nikhil, your perspective, she's saying that it's okay. I mean, if they're behaving like corporates, they're businesses after all. they can behave like corporates in the education sector. What do you think?
See, I'm not against the big players in the market. Like there are many international institutes which are trying to come into India and provide good education services to the people here.
Yeah.
But what I am against is that the regional institutes popping up. It's like the local businessman, they see it as a sustainable business, like investing in an education institute and carrying it over from there. But then those institutes should be stopped from mushrooming everywhere.
Okay.
So I'm not against the private sector.
Yeah, you're saying you have the private players,
Yeah.
but know how to distinguish the
Yeah.
good from the bad.
And one thing should be focused that we should focus on more good practices. If we have certain an idea or innovative solutions or a certain method of teaching coming up from any universities,
Yeah.
those could be replicated. But they should be like not small copycats everywhere around the country. So there should be a limit.
Yeah, you know, the truth is that 60% of the college-going population of the country is actually enrolled in a private institution, which also makes India one of the largest number of higher education systems in the world. We have one of the largest. What is your response to a point that Chavi made that, you know, having a large number of private players helps put India on the global map when it comes to higher education? Do you think that's a good thing that, you know, some people are noticing? I mean, there are large number of institutions in India which makes it known in the world. Do you think that's a great benefit of having private players?
See, there's definitely a benefit of having private players, but if you see the rankings of education institutes which are in India, you would find that there are only mainly IITs and IIMs which are there in the top 100 or 200 institutes in the world. So these private institutions are still popping up. I'm not sure how much these institutes will attract international students to them.
Yeah.
But then it certainly, you know, points to the ranking of the colleges. So our focus should be improving the existing system rather than incorporating new colleges into it. So we should stop, we should slow down, we should understand what scenario is going and learn from our mistakes and put the better practices into our implementation. So
Okay.
that's my point.
Valid point. He's saying that let's not, you know, have all these institutions that are mushrooming everywhere. Let's have a few, like the point that you're making, let's give them a certain credit so you know the good from the bad, and let's focus on getting the quality. Let's have a limit on the number of people who can get into education. Do you agree with that point?
I don't really. I don't see a limit on education. Education
Okay.
should be provided to everyone. Rather, if more people want to be in the education sector, want to have education, they should be provided with it. Limit in the number of colleges will limit the education itself.
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the accreditations is there, I don't think there is any problem, because had this been the real problem, 100% of the accredited colleges students would have been placed.
Yeah.
They are not. They
Yeah.
are not. Rather, students who are not from the accreditation background are getting placed. Industry is accepting them. Reason being, they are bringing learning on the table. They are bringing knowledge on the table.
But what would be your
Yeah.
response to, you know, institutions that have this, there's ad hoc sort of privatization going on, where you have universities or players that don't really know too much about education or haven't really done their homework and don't have their checks and balances in place once they launch a university? What can we do to stop such ad hoc privatization?
Government can put a check on the quality. Again, the same point. The moment you create a procedure that everyone should pass through these checks, these eligibility criterion, this will be automatically eradicated. The problem of having poor quality educations will go away. So this is how it should be done.
Okay, Nikhil, your perspective? I mean, you know, the problems that a public educational institution, a private educational institution face, they're sort of the same. You know, it's a problem with the Indian education system.
Right.
What would be your response to, you know, aren't private players sort of helping it when it comes to, you know, public universities that might have infrastructure constraints or capacity constraints? Aren't private players the answer to that because they have the money to be able to provide better infrastructure and capacity to students?
I totally agree with you. That's how, like, we even have this FDIs coming up in education system, so that it's just for, you know, bringing in more and more advancement in our technologies and education system, so that our current education system develops. So that's the other point. But then I'm not against to these big universities, so which help us to, you know, evolve and develop
Yeah.
further. But I'm against like those small institutions. So
The ad hoc sort
like
of.
so, like if you talk about university, they should not, you know, publicize themselves like we are like placing this many students or
Yeah.
doing something, but then they should focus on research, taking it further to the next level. Like,
The different parameters that those institutions
Yeah.
should be focusing
So,
on
like
instead of just opening up colleges.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Just to read out some stats and give you an idea of the figures, in 1950, India had 28 universities and 578 colleges. And presently, we have over 500 universities and 25,000 colleges. Those are huge numbers. So, privatization is a huge thing that we know is fact, but having 500 universities, how easy will it be to ensure that you have those checks and balances in place, even if the government does come into the picture and says that these are things that you need to do? You still have that presently, but it's not working because you still have ad hoc colleges.
That's right. Then the government needs to be stricter on these areas. So they already have AICTE, they already have UGC. They can come up with more organizations like that who can have a check on the universities which are not accredited. And if they are not accredited, but they are providing quality education, they are providing experiential learning, then they can be passed. The education should not be it should not halt the institutes, the schools which are actually providing quality and experiential learning. So we can have more organizations like AICTE, UGC to handle the mushrooming number of organizations. That is how they will check quality, that is how they will check the quantity as well, though I am not against quantity at all.
Okay. There's been a rise in, universities such as Ashoka, which focus on not only professional courses, and large number of our higher education institutions are simply management and engineering.
Yeah.
So how do you see new universities that are coming up? The question goes to both of you. New universities that focus on subjects that aren't necessarily the typical ones that students go in for. Do you see that as a positive and a benefit of private players?
Yeah, it definitely is. I myself is a PG student.
Okay.
So I'm from Adyanta School of Leadership and Innovation.
Yes.
So the focus of our curriculum is most out on entrepreneurship and new product development.
Yes.
So such courses should be promoted. It's because what these courses would be doing, they are like nurturing the future leaders or future innovators who would be bringing much and more innovations in the country, and that will ultimately lead to generation of new jobs. So like we should adopt these good practices or new innovative approach towards learning. So we call it by learn by doing method, the learn by doing approach. So such institutes should be tapped. The studies should be taken care from them, and they should be replicated across country. So it should be in a strategized form. Again, like such colleges should not be open in each and every city.
Yeah.
So give them time to incubate, see what's happening, where we go wrong, where we get right, learn from what all happens, and try to just replicate these institutions across India. So, but do it in a strategized manner. So it should not be like just spread of such institutes everywhere.
Yeah.
So Ashoka University is Adyanta, Soil. So they all are like new generation education institutes. So they're promoting much more.
It's a different type of learning that a private player can offer you, which a public institution will not be able to offer you.
They are actually providing holistic learning, I would say, because they are more in touch with the industry. They are providing industry exposure, they are providing mentoring directly from the industry experts to the education, to the students. They are supportive of innovation. They are supportive of the social aspect also. For example, in my college itself, they have social innovation programs. So, that takes you more near towards the society, near towards the practical areas of life. They have other than curriculum programs also like yoga. So in such a scenario, and a student gets developed in a holistic environment, you see.
Yes.
Whereas government is focusing more in the in-house learning styles. So Indian education sector is having a problem at that area, where private is trying to come up with a new style of learning.
Okay, that's a very valid point, and a very hopeful and optimistic point for the future. Thank you, Nikhil and Chavi, for being here today. The Indian youth is, a population and a group of people that's rapidly expanding, and that sees education as a real golden ticket and a ticket to prosperity and success. Keeping that in mind, we're going to wrap up the debate as the demand for private education is only set to increase in the country. We're going to slip into a short break, but when we come back, we have lots more on the other side.